Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by my channel today. Welcome to my tag video today called Hello 40, What's New? And actually, it is a tag video, but it's kind of an extra special kind of fancy tag, which I will explain to you in just a second. But today, I am going to be talking about, well, first of all, you know I love to talk, whether it's about beauty products or about life and kind of all of these deep issues just in general. But today's video will be kind of a reflection on my life and kind of how I look towards my life as it comes in reference to beauty and how I feel about the whole process of aging, particularly as we have crossed the threshold of 40, which some might say is significant. I think in numbers terms, it's a little bit significant, but at the same time, it's as significant as you want to make it. I said that this was going to be a fancy tag. This video that I'm making today actually is super special to me. I haven't made a ton of videos, but more than 100, and this one probably means the most to me at this point. That's because I was actually invited to collaborate on this tag video. The gals over at SmartMouthBeauty, Heather and Holly, who are hilarious, by the way. You know, I don't have a lot of, or I should say, I wish I had more time to watch more videos. And so with the time that I do have, I'm very selective about who I watch. And I love watching Heather and Holly over at SmartMouthBeauty. I will definitely link their channel below. Please go check them out after you watch my video and listen to their impression and their answers to the tag that we created. The reason I enjoy them though, and this is kind of important because, you know, there's like 5 billion you know, beauty videos and YouTube creators who focus on beauty. But what I enjoy about their channel in general, first of all, they are so genuine. Like, I feel like they're like legit. They just sit down and they just want to talk to you. It isn't staged. It isn't meant to be like phony. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just really enjoy listening to them talk. That's the other thing, is that there's the two of them, they're sisters, and so they play off of each other so well. They are hilarious. And because I love the design of their channel as well, because it's just the two of them. It's the two of them, not just the two of them. It's actually the two of them. Whereas right now I'm alone in my room right now, kind of talking to myself in essence. But they get to talk to each other, and when I watch, I feel like, I'm like, oh my God, I want to interject. And I want to say, no, wait, but I got to comment. And so their design and their charisma and their sincerity when they design their videos and produce their videos really means a lot to me. So it is always a pleasure to sit down and watch one of their videos. Their premise is similar to me, like the foundation of what they want to accomplish with their channel. They're very informative, of course. If I didn't think so, I wouldn't want to hear what they had to say. And so they, like I said, they are very informative, but also they do, for example, they have what they call their real talk videos or their raw videos. And you know that that's what I like to do as well. I just like to kind of get down to the nitty gritty, talk about the things that nobody wants to talk about. And so for so many reasons, I really enjoy their channel. And I was contacted by them and invited to help create this particular tag today. And that's why today's video is extra special and fancy for me today. If I didn't say it already, they are so witty. And I could see that in their channel as well. But even just as we were kind of designing the questions for this, they were cracking me up. And so definitely go check them out when you're done with me. And if you're from their channel, welcome. My name is Gina, and the motto of my channel is literally, there's more to life than looking good, but you've got to look good too. And so here on my channel, I like to explore things like inner beauty and conflict and how we relate to others and relationships in general, because I think that's really important. But I also think we are not only skin deep, and how we feel about how we look on the surface and how others portray us, and again, how we feel about ourselves, I think is super important too. And I do that through my love of makeup and skincare and hair care products and all that stuff. So thank you for spending your time with me and coming to visit. I hope you stick around and do subscribe so that way you can find out when I've got more things to say as well. But enough intro. Let's get to the fanciness that is the Hello 40 What's New tag. So how much of a goober am I? I printed them out. Everybody, when you see other like YouTube creators like do like tag videos, they're like holding up their phone and they're so fancy. I'm like, I can't rely on my phone for that. I like printed it out. I'm old school. I don't know. Did I hurt a tree? I might have hurt a tree. I'll recycle it though, okay? All right, so we were very fancy and we have categories with very sassy titles, which they actually, I believe that they actually fine-tune the titles of our categories, which is hilarious. Okay, so category 1, changes everywhere. What changes did you see to the skin, specifically on your face? The skin on my face has been a lifelong battle for me. From growing up all the way into, literally into my 30s, I have had very oily skin. I have kept the oil blotting paper business in business because I rely on those a lot because you don't want to pile on more powder, more powder as the day goes on because then you start to get cakey. I have always had oily skin. And they say, I had heard, that as you age and get older, your skin begins to get drier. And I can actually kind of see that begin to develop on my face right now. I would probably describe the skin on my face now not as oily. And if you watch some of my older videos from even 2 years ago, I would specifically reference, my oily skin. And now I've made a point to describe it as combination skin. But it's not, when you say combination skin, that's not very simple because it's as if I have oily skin on my, on my cheeks a little bit and my T-zone on my forehead, kind of on my chin a little bit. And then the other areas are really dry. So it's not like when you use a combination skin product, I feel like that's like fake. That's like false advertising because it implies you can put it like all over your skin and you can't. Because I need to put like the oily skin products in certain areas and the dry skin products in other areas. And I mean, obviously that's clearly impossible because where are the boundaries? It's not like I have like a colored map on my face that says where to put different products. And so I'm constantly battling trying to control oil while not accentuating dry patches. So yes, my skin has changed and I guess for the better, I don't know. You know what, honestly, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And that's what I'm dealing with now. And this is not what I had to deal with before. And so I'm having to explore a whole new plethora. You like that word? That's like a $5 word. A whole new plethora of skincare products and ways to kind of deal with it and kind of maintain it and keep it happy. Question 2, what changes did you see to the skin on your body? I definitely got molier. Molier? More freckles, more, I guess not moles, but I guess kind of more freckles. I do visit the dermatologist once a year. She's removed, I think, 2 spots on me that turned out to not have any presence of cancer cells. But I remember at one point I had gone on a vacation and I didn't anticipate being, this was probably 20 years ago, I didn't anticipate being out in the sun, and I was, and I got 2nd-degree burns on my shoulders, and I've got tons of freckles and dark spots in relation to that. That was awful. And that was right around the time where, you could wear SPF, but not everybody did all the time, certainly not as religiously as we do now. And so, otherwise the skin, I mean, my hands and my feet are drier than they used to be. Ironically, I guess because I have recently since passed the threshold of 40, I can tell my skin changes are coming. My face probably changed more than the skin on my body, but I'm definitely drying out. Like a sponge, I am drying out. What changes did you see to your hair? Well, in the same way, I always had oily hair as well, and now my hair is definitely drier. I probably have almost normal hair close to my scalp, whereas before I had to wash every day because, and I know you weren't supposed to, but I had to because I just had so much grease. We didn't really have dry shampoo. Maybe we did, but I wasn't aware of it at the time. And so my hair is definitely getting drier as such. Since I'm starting off a little drier on the top, my ends now are kind of fried. Part of it is from coloring it. You can tell I went dark. I did that because I was tired of putting the light, the bleach, the blonde or whatever on it because I don't think my hair can handle it anymore. I have thick hair, but it's very fine. And so it was strong. It was always strong, even though it was fine. They were thin strands, but they were healthy and strong. And I don't think they can tolerate it anymore, which kind of makes me sad. I'm loving my dark hair. But the idea that, see, this kind of gets me. The idea that I really shouldn't go blonde anymore, that kind of annoys me. I know I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to damage my hair. And the idea that the option is no longer there, or really isn't there, or shouldn't be there, that kind of ticks me off. It's like once I pass 35, which is like what they say is like the maximum. I know you can have babies later, but they say ideally, optimally, have children before you're 35. Supposedly, whatever. I know you can have babies later into your 40s. But anyway, when I hit 35 and the textbook fact crossed my path, that kind of annoyed me. Even though I have no desire to have children, I always like to have the option. So I would have liked to continue having the option to color my hair lighter. And I'm annoyed that it might not tolerate it as well as it once had. What changes do you see to your body overall? Ooh. I work out a lot, and I work out pretty hard and intensely. What's interesting is I had to make the transition because back in the day when I would have I would be sore or I had a pain, I could just easily attribute it to working out too hard or pushing too hard. Now I kind of know my body is just not what it used to be. Let me say this, I am definitely in better shape now than I was when I was even in my 20s, and I've been working very hard on that for many, many years. But I'm starting to notice like injuries last a little bit longer, or I don't even mean an injury, but you know, you get a sore spot, you overwork something, they last a little bit longer. And so I refuse to admit, not necessarily admit, but I refuse to really acknowledge that as a fact, but it's a reality, meaning that when I am active, for example, I'm much more mindful of what I'm actually doing to my body and how much I am pushing it, because I don't want a long-term injury. And I can tell you, back in the day, never did I think about that. Didn't think about that at all. And so, again, it's kind of a reality check to just have to be mindful, even from a preventative perspective. And it's a little annoying. It's a little annoying. Okay, so category 2. I woke up like this. They totally came up with the title of that category. That cracks me up. Oh my gosh. I woke up like this. So, in category 2, question 1. What products have you found for your anti-aging process? Anti-aging, I am totally into serums right now. I am all over hyaluronic acid because that keeps your skin looking plump. I'm into vitamin C because it brightens and evens out your skin tone. I'm into salicylic acid and niacinamide because that cleans out your pores. I'm very conscious of the way my pores look right now. Or as of late anyway. And as far as, you know, eye creams, I've always used an eye cream, but now I've kind of stepped it up a little bit and I use ones that are slightly more expensive. Do I think that they're better? I did a chit chat video on that. I'll link that, check it out. But do I think that the expensive ones are better? Necessarily, no, but I have found over time that I'm willing to entertain that because now it seems like it's a more pressing concern. So I'm totally into the serums right now because I know that they are like direct delivery to your skin. And so, yeah, I didn't even know what a serum was a handful of years ago. And so I'm happy they exist because I'm really hoping that when I turn, 85 or 80 or whatever, that they were effective. Because really, there's no way to know. What treatments have you done for your anti-aging process? Treatments as far as like Botox or things like that. I'm considering it. I consider it lightly. I haven't committed yet. I haven't done it. I talk all the time about how I have this crevice in between my eyebrows. My resting bitch face is coming to bite me right in the ass because I know I do it. I am perpetually in an RBF mode. I don't even know why, because I think I'm like a happy, like joking, willing to make people smile person, but Like when I drive, I look like I just like had the worst argument in the world with someone. It's awful. My husband now has acknowledged it from the passenger seat when I'm driving, or mostly when I'm driving. But anyway, but you know, I'd have to do more research. I'm not sure I'm there yet to even want it. I heard this story about this couple who had to go, I've mentioned before that I have a degree in psychology and a master's in social work. And so relationships and people's relationships I enjoy working with that, let's say. So there was the husband and wife, they had gone to marriage counseling, not with me, but I had read the study about it. Because they were spontaneously not getting along and they were having difficulty communicating with each other. P.S. They were able to guesstimate with almost certainty that their problems originated when the wife got Botox. And because it had removed her ability to 100% show her facial expressions, her husband was having difficulty like relating to her and understanding her, and was receiving, I guess, mixed signals or confusing signals from her, which then made him tense. And then, you know, all of a sudden, here we go. And I thought that was so fascinating that something in relation to our aging process could be affected, you know, could affect our relationship that way. But I suppose that's true too. I mean, if you wind up having low self-esteem about the way you're looking or feeling as you age, I mean, obviously that would impact your relationships too. So I'm not to the point of treatments yet, but aside from like facials and stuff, but I'm not ruling it out. I'm not committing to anything. All depends how everything plays out, right? Okay, so question 3 in the category I woke up like this. I just want to keep saying that. I just think that's hilarious. Okay, what future treatments will you do for your anti-aging? Well, clearly I'm considering Botox, just depending on how bad this, or how quickly or rapidly or how deeply all of this develops. But I really, like I said, I really do need to do research. I probably would not want to try, like I've done some research so far, I probably would not want to try like a chemical peel. People never look good when they come out of that. And I don't think I could tolerate like the burning or the feeling uncomfortable. And maybe they're not supposed to work out that way, but if it's possible that you have that as a bad experience, I don't want that experience at all. And so again, I did just cross 40 and aging. Not that I started thinking about aging only when I turned 40, but I'm kind of on the cusp, I feel, of starting to wonder or starting to kind of consider what my other options are, because up to now I've done, let's say, you know, more of a product-based approach. But like I said, maybe with the exception of chemical peels, I'm not really averted to anything. But no matter what I do decide or not decide to do, I will definitely be doing research. And hey, guess what? Probably a part of that will involve research on YouTube, of course. I wish I had YouTube 20 years ago when I was younger. It was not a thing back then, and I want to tell myself, go watch some YouTube videos. You stand to learn quite a bit. Question 4, the most expensive treatment or product that you have tried for stopping the aging process. See, money's a funny thing for me. Money is funny. You know, I do think that some things are worth it. Have I spent a buttload of money? I mean, probably overall, actually, if I think about it. How much have I spent? Probably thousands of dollars on a variety of skincare and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I've been stepping up my game and, like I said, spending money on serums and stuff, although the brand The Ordinary is so inexpensive. I use a lot of products by Ulla Henriksen, and I've been exploring some other products by Colleen Rothschild, Sunday Riley, a whole bunch of other stuff like that. So I would probably say the most expensive that I've bought, let's say on like an over-the-counter product like that, is probably in the $100 range, give or take. I feel like, not that $100 is not a big deal, but $100, you know, is a lot, but not a ton. Like I'll spend $100 on a pair of shoes, I'll spend $100 on a bag, on a trip to Sephora or Ulta, you know, so right now that's kind of like my threshold. I will say this, when I was in my 20s, I did, and still currently do, invest money in Retin-A. Originally it was prescribed to me, and I'm talking about the prescription strength. Originally it was prescribed to me by my dermatologist because I broke out so bad. I continue to have very bad acne. And so that was a means of kind of trying to control that and all of the oil that I had. And my dermatologist, I'll never forget, I was probably in my mid-20s. I'll never forget. She says, plus it's fabulous to protect you from signs of aging. And I remember thinking at the time, I'm like, I don't care about that. I've got zits all over my face. I don't care about aging right now. And let me tell you, right now, I care about aging. And so I've been using Retin-A for many, many years. And I think it's a fabulous skin refresher. Do I think that everybody and P.S., when you add up the visits to the doctor and then the cost of the prescription, which generally isn't covered by insurance, so it can get a little pricey, although you can get the tretinoin, which is is it tretinoin? I hope it's tretinoin, which is the generic form of it. But still, it costs you money in order to maintain that. And so that's probably been my biggest investment to date. And so, yeah, now that I kind of think about it, that probably cost a pretty penny in retrospect. But whether you get a prescription for Retin-A or not, whether you use any retinol-based product or retinoids that you can get over the counter, they're all good. We all don't even need necessarily the strength of Retin-A. I do, because I still do break out, can you believe it, in my 40s. And I do still have oily spots on my skin. At least that I can kind of spot control and apply where I need it. But yeah, I've spent a bit of money. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. Okay, category 3 is called attitude adjustment. How do you feel about getting older overall? Meaning, are you trying to hide it or do you embrace it? I kind of do a little bit of both, actually, but I tend to be more on the embrace it side. First of all, you can't stop it, so you might as well accept what's coming. When I believe that I hide it, I do so in the way that I don't want to walk around looking ragged and haggard. You know what I mean? Like, I want to put my best face forward, and I want to use, you know, creams and lotions and treatments and all those sorts of things that will either reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, even if it's on a temporary basis. But I want to look my best. And in looking my best, I don't feel as if I necessarily need to broadcast that I'm 40 years old. And so I do a little bit of hiding, but at the same time, I embrace it. Because like I said, you can't stop it. I clearly don't look 25 anymore. And you've heard me say 100 times, I mean, in this video even, I'm 40. I mean, I am the first to tell you how old I am. I talk here all the time about how I love Lucy, and I think everything in life goes back to an I Love Lucy episode, and she refused, Lucy Ricardo refused to share how old she was, even when she was 40. Did you know, by the way, she was in her early 40s when she filmed I Love Lucy? Anyway, I think in the show she told everybody she was 28. All the time. And of course, then there was a running joke about that. I don't care. I've got nothing to hide. It is the fact. And honestly, can I even say this? I think I look pretty good for my age. And so, heck yeah, I want to tell you I'm 40 because I've seen some people who don't look their age. And so at least if I can come across as my age and not having aged worse than that, then I'm definitely going to embrace that. How about that? It's a little bit of self-empowerment there. Yes, damn it, I am 40 years old. Question 2, what are or were your expectations of getting older? Oh, that's a loaded question, but I love it. Back in the day, I remember that all I could think about was I couldn't wait to pass 18. I don't know why 18, but I couldn't wait to get as old as 18 because I thought my skin would clear up. It didn't. And here I am, 40, and my skin is still pretty awful. And actually, it's kind of getting worse. I should have included this in the first question. I'm starting to get cystic acne now around my chin, which from what I understand, because I did research, it's hormonal or hormonally based, which makes sense, I'm 40. But I had wanted to get older because I wanted whatever was related to puberty and being a teenager, I wanted to be done with that. And I remember thinking, okay, well, it didn't happen at 18, maybe it'll happen at 21. And then it didn't, maybe by 25, maybe when I pass 30. I still probably say to myself now, wow, I hope my skin clears. My skin is starting to dry out. Maybe that means I won't break out as much. I guess I put a lot of emphasis on what my initial presentation was, and I was always very self-conscious about my skin. And now I kind of look back and I'm like, if my skin is the biggest thing that impresses you or doesn't impress you, then we don't need to be friends at this point. So I've come a long way, despite the fact that the one thing that I had wanted to change, you know, when you get that question, if you had 3 wishes, well, one of my wishes was always to have clear skin. And I notice when others have really clear skin or really beautiful skin. And that was not in my cards. And you know what? Hey, if I can't accept it by now, then maybe I should get some counseling, because clearly it's something that I've been dealing with a long time. And I'm better with it. I'm better with it. It actually made me who I am today, because there was the whole reason I got excited about makeup, was because I wanted to cover what was going on my face. But now makeup is my own art, and then everything that goes along with that. And here I am having a YouTube channel, getting invited to collaborate by a pair of fancy gals, making some videos that I'm putting on the internet. Oh my gosh, how did my life become that? That's awesome. Okay, as I get older, what am I looking for? I hope my body doesn't fail me before I'm ready. And I don't mean die, I just mean I try to be active, I try to eat right. I've mentioned before that I've lost a bit of weight, all in the efforts of feeling good, and I hope to make that last longer than is expected. I hope the aging process treats me well, but I have to put my own work into it, so we'll see how it goes. Number 3, how has your outlook on life changed? Whew, my outlook on life. Well, I will say this, even though my skin didn't get better, I have to think about that for a second. Even though my skin didn't get better, I think my outlook on life has. I wish I could tell myself back in the day, it's going to get so much better. I feel like right now this is like, it's the best time. Well, not even just right now. I don't know, the last 10 or 20 years were the best time. You know, being a kid and a teenager was difficult. I had weight issues, obviously skin issues. I felt completely insecure. I thought that it really mattered how well I did in school and all that. And you know, honestly, to this day, I don't think it mattered as much how well I was a straight A student. And I kind of look back now and I'm kind of like, that was a little bit of a waste. You know, you can get good grades, but you don't need to get the best grades. I'm not sure that advanced me any further. So my outlook on life is just be chill now. I was always so, I am type A, but I'm not type A plus anymore. My outlook on life is just, it is what it is. Don't sweat the small stuff. I'm just going to throw out a whole bunch of cliches now. Don't sweat the small stuff. This too shall pass. Whatever it is that you feel as if is the worst day of your life will get better. And it will get better from that time. And I want to tell myself, my younger self, you know, it's going to get better. I'm more confident than I ever have been. And I think, according to the title of the category, that really is my attitude adjustment. I had to make it that way. It doesn't happen automatically. And so I've worked on making myself the best person that I can be, which means including a lot of self-reflection and mindfulness and in-depth kind of retrospect and perspective in general. And so my outlook on life is just do the best you can, really, and don't let nothing is so important than the important stuff. You know, we let all the clutter get in the way. I don't like that. I hate clutter to begin with. Type A. That's the type A plus personality. Number 4, what would you have done differently in your 20s to prepare for your 40s? well, first of all, I would tell my 20 some odd self, stop with the resting bitch face because it's only going to hurt you so many years later. I can't tell you how many times I have to blot foundation out of my eyebrow crevice there. So I'd probably tell myself to smile more. I'd also probably tell myself that it is never too late to start taking care of yourself. I didn't start till about my mid-20s or so. And I wish I started earlier than that, although what am I going to do to change it? I'm not. I did always wear eye cream. I don't know why that was something that kind of latched itself into my routine. And so I don't need to tell myself to start with that because I kind of always did that. Probably more sunscreen too. Be aware of the sunscreen factor. We know better now, but I don't think we knew as much 20 years ago. Okay, number 5, last question. Will you ever lie about your age? Heck no, never. I got no reason to. You don't like what you're looking at? Look away. And then I'm gonna go look at someone who I find to be better looking than you, because if you're gonna judge, you're ugly to me. You are dead to me. Okay, so, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Okay, first of all, I encourage everybody to do that. In your 40s or later and beyond, I encourage you all to do that. Please leave me a comment down below. Answer one or all of those questions. There is just so much value in taking stock of your life and just kind of seeing where you're at, where you were, what you're doing now, where you want to go. So definitely leave me a comment down below. If you make videos here on YouTube, please do this tag. Hello 40, what's new? What's going on? Definitely do it. It was so much fun. Thank you so much to Heather and Holly over at SmartMouthBeauty. Please go check out their channel. You will not be disappointed. It was such a pleasure collaborating with them. And I just gotta say, like, I don't know, just being invited to the party. You know, sometimes you feel like on YouTube we're a little bit disconnected. We try to be as connected as possible. And it was just, it felt really good to hear from them and to be able to design what I feel is the fanciest tag they ever made. How about that? Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I do hope you have a good rest of the day. If you're new, like I said, welcome. I hope you stick around. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much for all of your support. I hope you have a good rest of the day. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. In the meantime, thanks.